All right, here we go again. This is the unknown prisoner. We're at step 6. We've been into step 6. We're getting going on it, and we're doing a good job with it. This is what I'm going to kind of my words that I'll say that to try to grab you. Are we entirely ready? Entirely ready. You know, that was difficult for me to get my head wrapped around, even though they're not big words, but that entirely set a thought in my brain. Man, this is pretty deep here. You know, you're going to turn over the whole episode to God Almighty, and this is what we got to do. Are we entirely ready? Now, you know, and then we got to add the words to it. To have God remove all these defects of character. Now, why wouldn't we be entirely ready? But that's the whole point of being a person that is like me. It's just like, you know, it's like, hey, I've got to become a ghost or an entity that is no more in a position to do anything that I can actually do before I got into this situation about sobering up. So now I have come step by step and day by day to a point where now at step 6, it's time to dump the whole load on God and let Him do what is necessary for me to be sober one day at a time. It's not that I'm just going to let it happen in a way that He's going to do this for me and just I'm going to wipe my hands. He's given me the opportunity to walk beside Him and do the things that are necessary to stay sober one day at a time. But if I do not have Him in control of me, then I am in control of me, and I've been through that for years and years and years, and I always wound up on my ass in trouble or something situation that I didn't want to deal with or had to deal with. So anyway, that's how big this step is. Now I'm gonna get over here. So, you know, you were doing all these things, and we've the 4th and the 5th step and all that good stuff. So, you know, we're pretty good. We're pretty set up to let it all hang out. You know, let it hang out and let it get going. So, step 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. You know, I was a character, all right, but I didn't even know what character really meant. Is a AA way of stating the best possible attitude one can take in order to make a beginning on his lifetime job. This does not mean that we expect all our character defects to be lifted out of us as the drive to drink was. A few of them may be, but with most of them we shall have to be content with patient improvement. The key words, entirely ready, underline the fact that we want to aim at the very best we know or can learn. So this is what we're developing our character to be, the very best that we can be, to be sober one day at a time. And to be sober one day at a time, now we're living on God's terms, God's way of life, God's ideas and thoughts that are in our brain, in our soul, in our mind. And we're trying to do this and display this on a daily basis to the world, to individuals, to friends, your family, to anybody that crosses your path. So these are the things that are real important. Now we're getting into a daily reprieve where we're trying to live life on life's terms without using alcohol, even though, you know, our car breaks down or things, I mean, just astronomically go crazy. And what am I going to do? Am I going to grab, you know, something to change the way I feel, or am I going to grab, you know, the big book, or I'm going to go to a meeting, or I'm going to go help somebody else, or, you know, all these things. things. We got to change the way we are to be able to stay sober in a daily walk with life that we have in God. All right, how many of us have this degree of what readiness? You know, how many? Are you ready? Are you ready? Or, you know, are we ready? In an absolute sense, practically nobody has it. So we're kind of opening up to that, you know. The best we can do with all the honesty that we can summon is to try to have it, Even then, the best of us will discover to our dismay that there is always a sticking point, a point at which we say, no, I can't give this up yet. And we shall often tread on even more dangerous grounds when we cry, this I will never give up. Such is the power of our instincts to overreach themselves. No matter how far we have progressed, desires will always be found which all oppose the grace of God. So we've got to get into this actual God relationship so we can know that when we fall short on what we're trying to do, is the situation is we don't have to get drunk over it. We make the amends. We do the things that necessary to keep this our pathway to God open, and we don't fall short and go out and do something with it that's going to give us that same old life that we don't want, we're trying to get away from. And this is how we do it. It's not perfection that we are striving for is perfection, but we are going to not be able to get to that point. So when things do go negative or go wrong or go bad and tempers fly and things go absolutely crazy, what are we going to do? Are we going to find some way into staying sober by doing what this is giving us an opportunity to get? One day at a time. We read the big book, we go to meetings, we call our sponsor, we just go on and on about our life is in a total different step and a walk. And it's all because God has given us the ability and the way to maintain sobriety one day at a time. So there we go. That's step 6. It's a good start. It's a good way that we're about through with it. But I've just given you some reality about what goes on in staying sober. You know, we're living on daily, that everything goes different ways and different good, bad, ugly, all of it's there. You know, it's wrapped up. So what do we do when it is a good day? Do we go try to get high, or do we try to get with God? Was it a bad day? Do we want to get better? Yeah, but how we do that? It's one step at a time, 1 minute at a time, and what we have to do is just allow God to do the things that He has for us, so we can actually turn and give Him everything that we have. I mean, everything that I have is not good enough to stay sober. It's what He has to give me is going to give me that daily reprieve that I can stay in a sober state of mind. All right, I'm listening. I've got to get out of here. I got some other things that I got to go take care of, and I got to run down to the AA hall and get some get somebody. We're gonna talk it over, and it's always makes me feel a lot better when I do things like that. Well, sis, I'll be back with you in a little while. Thank you.